Hello, hello, I love you and welcome. Welcome to this now moment. My name is April, and here we are with a message that I believe is in the process of uploading, but it's not working on Facebook. My Facebook channel is April Pelado. I am just me because I have hidden for so very long. So yesterday, 2 days ago, I was shuffling the cards and I asked for the minimal amount of cards with the maximum amount of story. I am tapping into my truest self, my highest self, my greatest potentiality. I am trying to deliver a message that is presented from the least amount of my shadow and the least amount of my ego, as is always the case when I am doing this spiritual work. I am being guided to be more of my truth. I am enveloping in unconditional love, opening my channel to receive guidance of this emotional story that has been placed on my table. I am part of the collective. I have had to do all this trying work myself. This breadcrumbing, this trying to figure it out, trying to put all the pieces back together. Trying to come into a space of love within my own heart when there was outside force filling that space with the most atrocious energy created to man. I have paid my fair due. Today, this message is not about me, even though it could very well replicate parts of my story in which I have had to endure. On the bottom of the deck, I have the Queen of Pentacles. Loving, nurturing, kind, fertile, able to grow, able to reap reward, bring in harvest, and is present in the physical, tangible reality of this present moment. Her mind is of growth, and everywhere she steps, she flourishes the ground beneath her. What are you trying to get? I gotta get the dog toy. What are you trying to get? Hey. It's a piece of wood. It's a piece of wood that looks like a steak. Okay. So all of this goodness is found in this card. She's pure, she's golden. She brings in a golden tone. After a space where she has had to review the shadow. The shadow in this card is represented by purple. This would be the darkness. This would be the light, but the light is behind her. Does she see it? Does she know how beautiful she truly, really is? Does she? Now, the only thing that I don't like about this version of the Queen of Pentacles is she's facing the direction of the past. And while we do have to ruminate in our past for a little while when we're trying to gain perspective of where we have been and bring in massive transformation for the road forward, this is not a place where we are supposed to live. And depression states that most people living on Earth are either in depression or in anxiety, which is mentally trying to create from the past perspective, or mentally trying to create from the future perspective. Now, the only perspective we truly have is this now moment. The only reality we have at creating is this one single space and time. Now, this now physical moment. This is why every time I start a video, I am bringing us to the attention of the here and now. If we create from the space of the past, we create the past in our future. And if we create from the space of a worried future, we create spaces where the cycles of the past feel shallow and hollow. On the table, it states that we are lacking the emotional capacity to live in the past or in the future. Well, when you are in the past and when you are in the future, emotions about that space may be high, but the emotion isn't present tangibly, physically, in the moment of creation. It's a memory of an emotion, and it's a fantasy of an emotion. Okay, let's see. We start off with the Ace of Cups. Now, the Ace of Cups was not the first card to come out. The Death card was. But the Ace of Cups and the Hanged Man go together. Somebody is talking about being fucked. I wish to ensure all aspects of my being that I am not fucked. Okay, whatever wasn't important. So the universe is trying to offer us this emotional satisfaction, this overflowing wellspring of emotion. We've taken the time. We have done the work to blossom, to come into alignment with our chakra. The lotus flowers there, to dig out any of that darknesses created through the time when the seed is coming up through the mud. Now, when the lotus grows in the water, it is given such a long stem that the bloom never touches that mud. What is your stem? What is your support system? Now, this support system is a tree, the Hanged Man. And recently I've come up to the actual story of the Hanged Man with Odin, and this, everybody's saying it's just a new perspective and you gain enlightenment, is pussyfooting around the actual idea that Odin gave his life, he sacrificed himself on that tree so he sacrificed his lineage connection the way he was tethered to his family name, his teachings, his upbringing. And he brought in the truth of his soul. He transformed when he was hanging in that tree. And he became a version of himself that he didn't know was going to walk along this earth. It was a surrender. This is a double sacrifice. What are we sacrificing? What is a masculine portion of us sacrificing, and what is a feminine portion of us sacrificing? So we can be in the true frequency of love. So we can experience love that overflows our heart space. Can we even get into our heart space? Is there a space for... And then I always notice that the legs are the shape of a 4. It's upside down, yes, because we're hanging. It's a balance. It's a counterbalance. It's a stability. What kind of stability are we coming into when we release everything that we were taught? When we empty out our vessel? When we empty out the shell of who we truly are? To nothing. We are not the story. We are not the program. We are not the pattern and the frequency that keeps finding us over and over again when we create from a space of the past and we worry about the fantastical idea of what the future is going to behold for us. Where are we in true love? Where is true love in that? Where is the wisdom? Where is the pearl of wisdom? What message is going to be dropped into our cup that allows us to be overflowing with joyful emotions? Now, when I look into the color wheel of emotions, I was very taken aback about how there's 6 segments on the emotional wheel. We have anger, disgust, sadness, happy, surprise, and fear. Now, there's only one happy. Surprise can go either way. Surprise can be in a positive connotation or a negative connotation. But out of all 6, there's only one that's in the positive polarity. So if you wonder why you are in this emotional state, this negative emotional state, 5 out of 6 of the emotions that you're suppressing are negative. I'm sweating. I'm really sweating. So how do we bring the transformation in? How do we bring the growth? How do we surrender to that new mindset? See how the flower is in her mind and the flower is on the flag? How do we surrender? How do we wave the flag with new growth? How do we say, I am done riding these I am done riding the turmoil of the seas, the high highs and the low lows, and wish to come into a more surface area emotion where I can be pure, where I can get down to the bones of who I truly am and allow the new dawn of the new day. There is the sunrise in the city corridor in the back here. This is also found on the moon, the corridor. It's like the pillars, but in a different kind of manner. What needs to change? What needs to transform? How do I alchemize the energy? What process has to go through so I can get into the emotions of who I truly am? Well, you have to look at it honestly, first of all. You have to look at it from a masculine perspective and then look at it again from a feminine perspective, the number 12 and the number 13. I have 12 cups here, which is a masculine emotion. Where are the masculine emotions? Where's that book? Okay, give me a second. Let's look at the masculine emotions when they're out of balance. Okay, forcefulness, domination, aggression, confrontation, control, arrogance, abuse, avoidance, and cold-heartedness. How can we transform those energies? Through electric gold fire, through consciousness, through intellect, and through stimulation in the pineal gland. We're trying to get to an area where no, I love you. I love you. Where we are learning to walk away from any place where we have spent as much emotional investment as we can. Here we have the sun and the moon, so we have the masculine and the feminine together. There is an eclipsing energy of the moon, the feminine, passing in front of the masculine. Now, in a different sense, time and space, I can say the sun is the feminine one and the moon is the masculine one. So all have all things available. How do we know when to walk away? How do we know when the action is that we should move along? How do we know when we have surmounted as many obstacles as we could accommodate in this state of relationship with our earth being, our bodily, our physical body, our avatar is what they call it. So we have the 8 of Cups. What are we walking towards? We're walking towards the 3 of Cups. Now together the 8 of Cups and the 3 of Cups, 83, is a master number. It's an 11. This, okay, go lay down. This can be seen as 2 ways. Like, I don't want to spend any more time on anything that is not a celebration, that anything that doesn't uplift me in a space of community where I can find joy and happiness over feeling like I am overloaded with empty promises and emotional unavailability from other people. Am I showing up for myself? Am I showing up for my masculine emotions? How do I move that into a feminine emotion? How do I balance my masculine and my feminine emotions in the real world? How do I come into balance? Now the next card, now this reading is attached somehow to the last reading I did on Facebook, because on the last reading I did on Facebook, I did Justice and the Hanged Man, and I said what was missing was the Death card, and now we have Hanged Man and the Death card, and the next step that's missing is the Temperance card, which is Sagittarius season. So I said we're getting ready for Scorpio season. This is a pre-preparation for Scorpio season yet to come. Now, in between Scorpio season and Sagittarius season, there is a hidden 13th sign that they've only given 4 days for on Western calendar. And it's called Ophiuchus. I don't know if I'm saying it right. No, I'm not. Ophiuchus? Ophiuchus. Ophiuchus is the way to say it. Okay, so there is a serpent energy in between transformation and the temperance, the feminine alchemist, between the death process and the alchemical process of balance. Now, this serpent energy is the space of the Kundalini awakening once we've gotten into our own energy. Now, it's not written in any book that this is what's going on. This is what I've been guided to believe through my own processes. So my North Node is in Sagittarius. Let me see. Where is it? Can you show me? Can you show me? Yeah, 1 degree 3. Whatever that means. So is it really in Sagittarius or is it in this hidden one? Is my whole birth chart off because we're not using a 13 process chart? Is my chart really showing me who I truly am if we're only residing in a 12 cycle process instead of a 13? How do I reclaim my femininity and sit as the ruler of my throne, in my emotional well-being, in my ability to walk away from what is not emotionally sound in my reality, and celebrate the truth of who I really am in a feminine form with those feminine counterparts in community? How can we come together in union, in celebration, in happiness, joy, love, contentment, to share the process of surrender, to share the process of rebirth, to share the process of stripping away the illusionary aspects of who we thought we once were, to be able to find the love that we have been held out of for our whole existence. My name is April, and this is what I have for today. I love you. And the video that I'm talking about is found on Facebook under April Pelledo. It is preparing for Scorpio season, and it gives the dates. Thank you. I love you. Goodbye.